like shooting stars came crashing down, and we're building back up again now. I see your heart, see your mind, see all you hide. I won't let you go, can't let this die. When you lose yourself, I'll be right beside you. I see your heart, see your mind, see all you hide. I won't let you go, can't let this die. When you lose yourself, I'll be right beside you.
Good evening and welcome to Apex Racing TV, welcome to the Suzuka circuit and welcome to the BSR MX5 Autumn Series. I'm Charles Draycott alongside Alex Simpson tonight. We're going to be looking at one of the sort of later on rounds in this championship as they go around the very slippery Japanese tarmac at Suzuka. Alex, is it a car you reckon that will sort of match this track? Do you reckon we'll see some good racing tonight?
I think this will be a good one, actually. Silverstone. Suzuka is a great circuit. There is some similarities between the two places. The S is obviously in the first sector. It is difficult to overtake around here, but actually the MX5 has got a lot of slipstream, so actually I think it will kind of play nicely into that. So we will see some good battling, but it won't be like, you know, masses of slipstream and things like that, almost like we saw last night when we visited Road America in the Ritmatech series, where, you know, the guys just couldn't break away. The packs were huge, snaking around the circuit. I think actually the faster guys will be able to slowly stretch away a little bit around here and be able to make those moves. So yeah, it should be a good one.
It's going to be quite focusing for everyone as well, because there's not really many different lines you can take around here. It's a very difficult track to drive. To get one lap right in qualifying is hard. But the guy that's obviously done that at the moment, as you can see, is Stelian Chepolevsky there. He's going to be starting on pole alongside his teammate Jamie Ayres on the front row. Brian Holmes for Youth Energy is third, Steve Hefford fourth. Kip Cooper is fifth on the grid. We all know it's Kip Stevens, obviously. Anwar Smith is sixth on the grid. George Simmons, the highest placed, he is showing his AM, of course, in seventh place with Nathan Davis eighth. Jack Ashton ninth and Luke Cooper 10th. Alex Cherney is 11th with Josh Thompson in 12th place. And then behind him we have Nick Madsen, Nick McCarran. Craig Cameron is 15th with the other Craig Evans, on the same row of the grid as him. Rob Graham is 17th with Joe McDonald 18th. Jack McIntyre is down in 19th place, so something not going right for Jack tonight. He's usually a bit higher up than that. Tyler Lugo Vickery is 20th with Mick Barry 21st. Mikel Garcia is 22nd. Benjamin Mears 23rd. David Ayres 24th. Jeroen Ursum 25th. Craig Jones 26th. Charlie Summers 27th. Peter Van Gool is in 28th position. And we've got Adam McNally 29th, Max Wright 30th, Adam Delmont 31st, Scott Malcolm 32nd, Jordan Giddings 33rd, Simone Nicastro 34th, 35th is Carl Hardy, 36th is Carl Jacolette, Peter Knowles is 37th, Mikey Key 38th, and Dave Christie rounds out the back of the field in 39th.
Awesome job, get that in there. They were gridding for ages. I was like, come on, someone just keep it.
Yeah, that was yeah, that would have been a sharp in breath. But we you see the large field then. It's actually makes the MX5s look even smaller than they are on this large sort of F1 size straight. As the lights come on then, the revs rise, and we're about to get set. There they go then. Big plumes of smoke either side of the track then. Slight wheel spin for everyone off the line. The field starts to fan out a little bit. Looks like Chepelevsky's got a really good getaway there, though, to be fair to him. Comes across to cover from Jamie Ayres. And Brian Holmes slots in behind in third place. Steve Hefford there as well. They start going 2 by 2 a bit further behind. Just bunching up a little bit in the midfield, it seems, but Chepelevsky's just got a clean start, and he's just going to get away with it at the moment. As always, actually, I say that, he's got a bit out of shape there, and Jamie Ayres goes through. Hefford around the outside now as well, and Brian Holmes is up to second. So, uncharacteristic mistake there by Chepelevsky quite early on.
Yeah, Cheppy's sporting his VR livery as well, isn't he, tonight? So he's also updated that on Trading Paints. Yeah, but still officially running for Momo as far as I can tell.
Yeah, he's been doing an amazing job with the Vuzian Racing team in the iRacing World Rallycross series. And when you've seen his videos of him driving that, and I think he put something up about a direct drive wheel and why they're superior a while ago, and some of the stuff that you can see Stellian doing is just unreal. But Brian Holmes at the moment, though, he's putting in a great effort for Youth Energy. Then second, chasing down Stellian's teammate Jamie Ayres. But once again, he's one of these guys that finds himself at the front a little bit sort of swamped by Momo cars. Looking at the timing sheets, Jack McIntyre is actually 39th and at the back, so I'm not quite sure what's gone on there, but he's dropped right down. It's very uncharacteristic of Jack. He started quite low down on the grid. I'm not sure whether he didn't take to the grid, but he's been in the pits, so I'm pretty sure that he's been caught up in an incident and then gone to the pits. So it's a real shame for his evening to go that way already. Mikael Garcia has also missed quite a lot of places. He's down 12 positions to 34th, but as we look back at this lead battle, well, as I look back at the lead battle away from the other screen, Jamie Ayres getting a push down the straight from Chepelevsky. Brian Holmes on the outside through 130R, which is a bit strange because it's a left-hander. Why you call it an Alfa Romeo, we don't know. But Hefford keeps it on the inside as he watched his Brian Holmes sort of just fade out to the outside. Oh, 2 wheels over the curve there. You've got to be really careful of that because the car can come bouncing down and you lose control. Great respect there by Chepelevsky to get out of the way. He gave Brian Holmes plenty of room. Obviously, unlike Max Verstappen on Kimi Räikkönen when these guys visited on the weekend, but in my opinion, it wasn't Max's fault, just in case you want to argue that. But Hefford now down the straight, side by side with Chepelevsky. Tiny bit of an overlap going into the first corner. These two are teammates, though, so understandably, Steve sort of ducks behind him and just plays it nice and safe. There's a couple of cars that are slower on the mini-map there. You can see at the chicane. Not quite sure what's happened to those guys. Oh, Hefford 2 wheels on the grass there as he turns in. But Brian Holmes,
just thought I'd let you know the 130R is to do with the radius of the corner. They actually also have one as well called 200R, which is after the hairpin. That's what it's to do with.
Oh, right, okay.
There you go. That's what we knew every day.
Yeah, every day.
Someone will probably correct me now and tell me I'm chatting absolute nonsense, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Well, there we go. I always wondered, and the questions have been answered, but Jamie Ayres is
up on 2 wheels. Right, giving it some through there.
It was a proper jump, that one. Well, Jamie Ayres has got the jump at the moment as well. He's running away with it. Nice little lead that he's got himself there, just over a second to Holmes, who's going to get attacked by Stellian and Hefford quite considerably here. You've got the 3 Swift Cooper cars together there, and also 2 of their teammates a few positions ahead. There's actually 4 brightly coloured cars with the Northern Lights car being involved as well. In terms of order of those guys, it's Kip Stevens that's leading the way out of those ones. Luke Cooper is the next one down. Then it's Charlie Summers.
Ooh, there's a big crash further back, I think.
Yeah, someone's gone flying down the order.
That was at the hairpin, and I think a lot of people checked up as well. So it could have been a lot worse than it was. But yeah, I just saw a mass announcement on the event viewer, and of course you can keep an eye on the event viewer if you want. It is available on the live timing webpage as well. I will post a link in the chat for you in a moment's time if you want to see sort of what's going on away from the cameras.
It was Tyler Luger-Vickery as well that got involved in that accident. He went down 17 places now in total, so he must have been tagged by someone. Or to be fair though, you say that it could have been worse than it was, as one of the Northern Lights cars goes in a very scenic route through 130. Brian Holmes on the curbs again. He's not scared of getting that thing off the ground. I was just going to say though, it's nice to see that some people have sort of avoided an incident rather than all piling in. Like I know there's been a couple of sort of points raised in some of the Facebook groups about this series before, where no one seems to slow down for accidents or take much care. But it's nice to see that at a track like this, where accidents do happen and it can get quite nasty, they've avoided it. As Holmes now side by side with Stelian Chepelewski through turn 1 and 2. Stelian just sticking it around the outside, but Brian's got the preferred line there. And you've got to think that his teammate now, Anwar Beryl-Smith, behind him, is going to try and get in on this as well and help him out. Once again, it's a Momo and Youth Energy battle for the lead, with one of the Swift Cooper cars getting involved there as well. George Simmons there in 8th place in a boosted livery. Nice yellow flashes on that big yellow roll cage. You're not going to be missing him.
For a long time since he's been in the boosted car, hasn't it? So yeah, I'll put him up later. Was he not wearing an Apex livery? There's Nathan in the background doing what he should do.
Yeah, indeed. And at the moment then, he's actually got Josh Thompson in front of him. Thompson up 5 places to 7th, starting 12th on the grid, if you can do your maths. I know I can. Cherney is there behind them as well, but look at that was one of the Swift Cooper cars in the background. That was Luke Cooper getting completely sideways on the exit. And he's gathered it all up though. He's leading 2 of his teammates. That's Nick Madsen and Kip Stevens there. In pretty much the same livery, but just obviously different coloured flashes to identify who they are. Nick Madsen with the Madman title written across his windscreen banner there. He's been known to... oh, well, I was just about to say something about manoeuvres, and there's Brian Holmes making a move on Jamie Ayres. Really close stuff there. And Stelian might get a good run here if Brian stays side by side, but he's got the overlap and he's away. However, now he's going to get caught up with the slipstream from Chepelewski, and to be fair, Anwar Smith may be able to try and use that to his advantage as well. Nathan Davis is in there.
Yeah, Anwar almost needs to get in there, don't you, just support his teammate a little bit there, because it's kind of 1v3 at the moment. And yeah, Smith's trying to get involved somewhere. Nathan's there. Obviously, Nathan and Brian drive together in BSR TC, so Nathan will try and help out as well.
Jamie Ayres getting all sorts of out of shape there, somehow keeping it as he gets on the throttle, but you know who this is when you see all the green. It's Stelian Chepelewski that we're on board with. It's very akin to his rig at home, and he's got a really good run down the straight actually. He's not got any slipstream and he's going a lot quicker than Brian Holmes down there, so that's quite interesting to see. I mean, you don't usually see much of a speed difference between these MX-5s, but seems to have got something dialed in right. Brian having a little bit of a wobble on the exit there. And Stelian, you can just see, I mean, you can see how visually sort of menacing he is behind someone there. He's putting a real amount of pressure on Brian Holmes, but Brian's soaking it up quite well at the moment, up at the front, but you've got to think when, not if now with Stelian. He got pole, so we know he's got the pace over a few people in this battle. Got to try and get the move done, because with this track, with Suzuka, it's a very flowing circuit, especially that first section. If you get one bit of it wrong, it ruins your entire run up the hill, and it just gets more and more difficult, because it sort of annoys you for the rest of the lap. As he goes a bit wider, he's going to catch a bit of the gravel, comes back in. Holmes gives him just enough room, and somehow still in front and both still on the track. This is great battling.
That was it. Literally just enough room to be able to rejoin there. That was it. Davis having a little look on the inside of Smith. Who's that? Josh Thompson in there as well. He's caught up to this pack here at Jack Ashton. Alex Cherney as well. We haven't seen too much of him so far in his opening laps. And then Simmons. So Simmons is showing because he wasn't down on the data sheet as an AM driver, but definitely should be classed as pro.
That was Chepelewski there trying to go to the inside, but blocked off by Holmes at the last moment, and he got 2 wheels on the grass just before he got on the brakes. That could have got very out of shape and very scary. As you see there, that's the number 3 car of Anwar Smith now up to 4th. Josh is now up to 5th, and he's got Nathan Davis right behind him there. And
just put the lose on Davis actually going into Spoon, so there was another big crash on the live timing. So
Holmes down the inside, defending from Ayres now. Chepelewski, oh, Chippy, really big slide there. How he saved that, I don't know. Oh, and someone that hasn't saved it as well.
Simmons.
Around goes Simmons.
Maybe he should be an AM.
Oh, contact with Ayres there and Smith. But they managed to sort it all out. But I was going to say, when Stelian got that slide on then, I don't know how he saved that. I was expecting it to just slowly continue rotating or snap back the other way, but Brilliant car control. You can see them all hugging the wall there, trying to get the slipstream down this massive straight. I'm not sure Brian Holmes is going to do what. Well, there was a bit of difference in the braking times there between himself and Stellian, but really good view on board here. As you can see the net flapping in the wind. Nice little detail iRacing have added in as he's working away at the wheel then up through the S's, and you can see that when you're the car following, it is quite easy to put pressure on now because Brian has reversed the role here and is starting to attack. I can't get his name out today. Stellian Chepelowski again. Just little inputs, isn't it? Just correcting everything because you want to get this car to the point where you sort of oversteer it everywhere, and out of every corner you're sort of just correcting the slide to continue the momentum, aren't you, as you get
It's amazing how much it does move around on the exit of the corners as well, even though it's fairly low powered, but it has got that balance where it does that.
We saw it last night in the Rickman-Tech series as well. It was quicker than the Mustangs through all the corners, and it is a nifty little piece of kit, this MX5. Obviously it's just the lack of power compared to most of the things that sort of lets it down, but I suppose that's why the racing is better in these, because they're a little bit slower, there's more time to react to things, and it sort of levels the playing field a bit. I mean, I've always found slower cars harder to be quick in, because you really have to get every single tenth out of it, and you've got to sort of study it and be patient with it when you're trying to get those hot laps in. Jamie Ayres now is under pressure slightly from Anwar Smith. You've got to think that Anwar's going to get the slipstream down here, but Josh Thompson might be one to watch. He's a bit further back, so possibly, if he's got long enough, he might get a bit more of an overspeed. I don't think he'll get it done to 130R, but provided he gets a good run out of the last chicane, he might be in contention of gaining something down the straights. We only actually have 3.5 minutes to go.
Where has this race gone? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it feels like they've done about 3 laps, but it's flown by.
Jack Ashton and Davis side by side as well.
Davis comes across there. That was trustworthy, wasn't it?
Was indeed. Someone was a little out of shape, one of the Momo cars.
That was a beautiful bit of avoidance there by Ashton. Absolutely beautiful bit of avoidance. There must have been an inch between the two cars there as Nathan Davies came back around. Oh, that was I don't know what he was doing there. That's a real shame, that. He just pulled straight into Steve Hefford. Hefford just having no luck with that then.
That was not a good move, either.
No, it really was not. That was,
I'm afraid we got it.
Yeah,
you've got to
feel for Hefford as well, and he would have had that in VR. I imagine it would have gone flying by now. But yeah, that was a pretty terrible rejoin, to be honest, Nathan.
I think looking at it, he got a bit of wheel spin. I think he tried to spin it, tried to do a spin turn, and the thing just gripped up and went. So I was like, oh no.
Well, it already stopped for a second, and then he went to get going again, and it just I don't know whether it crept forward or what, but. Yeah, real shame that as well, especially for Hefford, who is now flown down the order. He's actually still going though, is Hefford. I'm just trying to see where he is. He's 17th now, so he's lost out a lot in that. He's down 13 places, but this train, much like the Rickman-Tech series last night, is all stuck together then.
Yeah, there was me saying at the start of the race, wasn't there? Oh, the quicker drivers will get away, but of course there's the driving talent out there, actually. There's a lot of it, and it's all very, very close, so I'm not surprised to see a large train at the front. You can see on the left the intervals there as well, so up until we reach Summers it's pretty much nose to tail, but then there's a couple of little gaps sort of forming up in the middle there, but some interesting battles going on over in that mid as well.
Yeah, it's close between McNally, who's gone up 14 places, to 15th place. He's actually very close to I think it's Stevens and Simmons that were close together. They've got Rob Graham involved with them as well, a bit further down. Rob Graham is the highest placed AM driver in the field so far, if you discount Simmons from that. Very interesting camera view we've not seen before there. I've certainly not seen it before, but down the inside then is Holmes. He's somewhere on the right of our screen. And there he is. He's made it stick for now as they have to break together. He would have been on the left of our screen, actually. Sorry, I thought he was on the other side, but makes it into the chicane up on 2 wheels once again, giving each other plenty of room. And Jamie Ayres has got a really good exit out of there. He's going to get the overlap on Chepelowski, but he's going to have the slipstream on Holmes now. Is it going to go 3 wide? You've got to think it will do. They've got 1 more lap to go. Oh, Chepelowski's coming over. I thought they were side by side then. I thought there was going to be a Raikkonen and Vettel moment then from Singapore last year, but thankfully not. As Ayres around the outside then. Oh, Thompson goes wide. He's on the AstroTurf. Manages to collect it all together though, and Jamie Ayres now is looking down the inside of Holmes. Oh, somehow doesn't make contact, but Brian runs a little bit wide, avoiding him. We've got one of the Northern Lights cars off in the background. That's unfortunately, it's Craig Evans. Craig dropping down the order now as he gets back going again, but these top 7 are what we're going to focus on. And as I asked you last night, Alex, do you reckon these lot will make it to the end of this race?
Oh, I think we might see a very similar situation actually.
Yeah, we literally mentioned it last night and said that we thought they were all going to go, and then as soon as Alex opened his mouth, one of them went spearing off of his own accord into the gravel and straight into the wall. So we hopefully not going to see that now, but I mean, we've watched these guys a lot and we know it happens, don't we?
Yeah, indeed it does. I mean, you can look at how close they are as well. Even on the mini-map, you can barely see any of the numbers beyond the car that we're focused on. It's crazy. Just goes to show how close it is. No separation whatsoever out there.
It's Cherney and Ayres then battling for 4th place now, side by side. Josh Thompson's got the front row seat for this one. Brian Holmes still leading the race, and Anwar Smith has gradually made his way up to 3rd. So there's 2 Youth Energy cars on the podium with Stelian Chepelevsky, the meat in that sandwich. Bright green meat in the sandwich as well. There's Smith down the inside, then Chepelevsky seems to run wide, and Anwar is now up to 2nd place, but will he hold on to that to the end? Look at the run that Stelian's got, brilliant stuff. He gets the cutback and now they're side by side, but Anwar's obviously going to have his teammate Slipstream to help him out. I don't know if it's going to be enough to pull him ahead before 130R. It's just going to be a case of who's got the bigger man fruits here. He's going to turn it in. Stelian's got the preferred line obviously on the inside, and Anwar doing the smart thing there, backing out a little bit, just playing it safe. Stelian's running wide though. It's easy to lose the car there. You see, he can get a wobble. As then Alex Cherney's now coming in at Anwar, and then Josh Thompson down the inside of Ayres makes contact. They're all closing up together. Brian Holmes with the slide on the exit. Stelian copying him, but it's going to be Brian Holmes who's going to clip the grass coming out and take the race win. I think there's been a bit of a tangle back there. Josh Thompson slowed down, but it's Brian Holmes takes the win for Youth Energy. Stelian Chepelevsky 2nd, Anwar Beryl Smith 3rd, Cherney 4th, Ashton 5th, Luke Cooper in the number 6 car finishes 6th. Josh Thompson 7th. You can see Simmons having a nice little celebration of his finish. Oh, that's Zach Hardy, yep. Bright green wheels, the result car, and that's going in a wall.
He so nearly saved that as well. Someone else off the background as well.
It's Mikel Garcia.
Yeah, Garcia.
130R then catching some people out towards the end. We nearly saw Holmes and Stelian Chepelevsky go off there. This is another battle further down. This is Simone Nicastro and Carl Jacquelet, and they're going to come across they're going to come across Garcia. They go past him. Get a bit of a tighter line in there, and
did you get disqualified on the final corner of the final lap of the race? Unbelievable.
That's absolutely gutting there for Nicastro. I think that might have been his first race in the series, and it's a real shame that is to see, but at the end of the day you've got to play it safe with your incident points, and unfortunately that's going to be a big 0 points for him in that one. Right kick in the teeth.
Yeah, that's the way it can happen. We're still waiting for somebody. Sure who? Is it Delmont? It might be Delmont actually.
Really exciting first race though. Great action between the front 4, and like we were saying, that just flew by. I mean, it just felt like they only did a handful of laps and it was just gone, wasn't it?
First races are always really good, I find. Just seems to bring the best out in everyone. Competition's all very, very close up there, so it's this next one that's a bit interesting, shall we say.
Yeah, it gets a little bit rough and tumble in the 2nd, 3rd and 4th races especially. But yeah, you're right about the first race. It's obviously a bit more of a spread out playing field, and obviously the people that are a bit quicker commentate towards the front. And commentate towards the front? No, I didn't just say that, did I? They qualify obviously towards the front, and then sort of the race pace travels with it. So obviously the quicker guys are at the front, slower guys are at the back, and it's nice and neat and tidy. But obviously when we mix that around, as always, he just gets a little bit frantic over the more and more frantic as it seems over the course of the evening. As we have the results on screen now, then there you see it. Brian Holmes takes the first win of the evening out of the 4 races that we've got. Stelian Chepelevsky finishes 2nd for Momo, with Youth Energy making it a 1-3 with Anwar Smith in 3rd place. Alex Cherney makes his way up to 4th place, Jack Ashton at 5th with Luke Cooper in 6th, Josh Thompson finishing 7th. I think there was a bit of a tangle towards the end, so that's why he lost a couple of places. Charlie Summers finishes 8th, and Jamie Ayres, actually, he was in the tangle with Josh Thompson, so he's finished down in 9th. Nick McCarron rounds out the top 10. George Simmons is 11th, even after that spin, so good recovery by George. Rob Graham is 12th and Kip Cooper is 13th. Craig Evans 14th, Adam McNally 15th. Great drive by Adam. He gained in that one 14 places to finish there. Peter Van Gool also gained 12 places to finish 16th. Craig Cameron 17th. Steve Hefford, after that incident, finishes 18th overall, with Benjamin Mears 19th and Joe McDonald rounding out your top 20. Mick Barry is 21st with Nick Madsen 22nd. Jordan Giddings 23rd. He gained 10 places to get up to there as well. Nathan Davis, we saw, went off earlier on. That was 24th overall for him. Jeroen Ursum finished where he started in 25th position, with Max Wright 26th, Scott Malcolm 27th. Jack McIntyre 28th. He had a bit of a poor qualifying and a poor race one, so hopefully he'll get a lucky reverse grid and run away with this second one. So let's hope it's not a 28 for everyone else. Carl Hardy 29th. Peter Knowles rounds out your top 30. Then it's Craig Jones, Carl Jacquelette, Mikael Garcia, we saw having a little incident at the end there, with Adam Delmont 34th, Mikey Key 35th, Simone Nicastro 36th, and then at 37th is Dave Christie, 38th David Ayres, and 39th is Tyler Lugo Vickery.
Decent turnout tonight as well. It's it's a lot when you have to take a few breaths to get through the results.
Indeed, yeah. I've just had a message actually from Jack McIntyre himself. He just put, "Hi Chaz, I'm racing from a hotel room tonight on my laptop with an Xbox controller, which might explain the, in brackets, lack of pace." So,
maybe.
Fair play, Jack. And I hope the rest of the evening goes well for him. It's good to see that he's committed enough to go and obviously play from a hotel room. So, yeah, it's good to see that. It's good commitment.
Yeah, it just needs to score the points, doesn't he? That's what he needs to do, really. So important not to get those 0-point rounds. So, still in the hunt for the championship if he can net some points. So, good on him. Right, wheel time. I was denied last night-ish. I will not be denied. I have 3 spins ready to do. So, let's get the first one lined up. Full's coming into play. Well, I think it's going to be full regardless based on where it is, because we've just missed them full -2, but we have 50th instead. So who will that put on the pole?
Okay, that puts Adam Delmont on pole position, who we just saw then. Sorry, it's people at 1 lap down, isn't it? It's Dave Christie on pole position.
Yep.
With Simon Nicastro 2nd, Michael Key 3rd, and Adam Delmont will be 4th. Mikael Garcia 5th, Carl Jacquelette 6th, and then it's Craig Jones, Peter Knowles, Carl Hardy, and Jack McIntyre will be 10th on the grid. Be good to see his progress from there. Obviously hindered by the Xbox controller and the laptop, but me and Alex will join you in about 10-15 minutes time for the second of the 4 races tonight. Don't go away.
chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line. chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line. Because here comes Holgate. He has the outside line through the final corner for the final time. Once again, photo finish here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Holgate? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV, and welcome back to Suzuka for the BSR MX5 Autumn Series. We're here for the second race of the evening. The drivers just finishing their current warm-up session then, as they have just advanced it to the race session then. I'm Chaz Draycott alongside Alex Simpson, who's doing the cameras as well for us tonight. And yeah, this is hopefully, Alex, going to be a decent reverse grid. We've got some quick guys near the front for this one.
Yeah, just the way it kind of panned out. We have, like you say, we've got some fast ones there, and I think this will be interesting. You know, they could stretch away. We're obviously going to have, they had this massive reverse grid as well, so we're going to have really quick guys coming back through as well. So yeah, it is going to be interesting to see exactly how this all pans out. I think we've got a couple of drivers that were struggling with staying connected to the session. That's why the interval took a little bit longer. So sorry about that. And yeah, while I've got the mic, let me just take the opportunity to thank everybody that's watching, and do this channel a favour. Let's just support the channel, support the series. Hit that like button and hit the subscribe button to our YouTube channel if you want to be notified of some of the other videos that we've got going on, not just the broadcast and things like that as well. We'll hit the bell symbol as well. We've got lots of great content coming your way.
So the red lights come on then, and my voice goes down the pan. Dave Christie leads the way away then from Simon Nicastro on the left-hand side of your screen. Mikey Key, and who is that? That's Adam Delmont in the 16 car. We thought Adam Delmont put it on pole, but well, I did anyway, and I got it wrong. But Adam's down the inside from the second row of the grid. Brilliant start there, and he's going to challenge for the lead surely as they come through the S's then. He's going to be chasing down Dave Christie in the number 64 car. Such a bright coloured field there filtering through. There doesn't seem to be any incidents so far. I say that though, I can hear contact. Not sure where it was or what's happened. One of the Simortal cars seems to be going a bit slow there. I think it was the one with pink wheels further back. I'm just trying to see who that was. I think it's Peter Knowles. Oh, we've got cars off. Van Gool is in there as well. That's the red Momo car with white wheels. Delmont goes to the front of the field then. They're nearly three wide there. There's two of the Automatic Not Kill cars in. But look at Delmont's lead now.
Dave Christie dropping down the order too.
Oh, look at that there. Three wide as they come up from the bottom of the shot. That's not going to end well there. There's a couple of them three wide as well.
one ever, surely.
Oh, Thompson around.
Yeah,
Thompson in front of the field. He's going to...
Hopefully got...
Oh, he gets caught out by Chepelevsky as well.
It was never going to work through there, was it? It was just far too packed, and people weren't conceding the positions of trying to get in line. Someone else gets clipped as well at the hairpin.
I think he did that all on his own, to be fair. I think that was
Simmortal, or not
Peter
Simmortal.
Knowles. Oh, there's one of the result clothing cars around as well. That's Mick Barry.
Yeah.
Identified by the bright pink wheels. I think Jamie Ayres has been caught up in that as well.
I think
He's
he
going
has.
down the order. So a few sort of smaller incidents there, nothing major, but look at this lot near the front. There's some result clothing cars up there as well. They make a bit of contact, and there's a car around. That's Mikel Garcia. We saw him spin at 130R in race 1, and he's done the same now at Spoon Curve in race 2. He's still sat there as they're 3 wide going towards 130R.
Oh, there's a big crash behind there as well.
Massive Steve Heffernan through.
A few more involved.
One of the Youth Energy cars going across there. That was Jack Ashton just flying backwards across the track. We see Rob Graham involved there as well. It'd be interesting to see how that started off, but that's taken out a good few people there. There's quite a lot of guys who caught up. It's been a bit of a messy first lap, really. It's down the inside then. That is the number 88 car. I'm just trying to find out where it is. It is Nathan Davis, yeah. I thought I forgot
10
the number
spots on the first lap. So we're not even over yet. He might have 2 more before he gets there. Has to put the brake pedal on there as well, so he don't run into the back of McIntyre. Of course, McIntyre, like we said, running on the pad. Let's see what his defensive skills are like with that Xbox pad that he's using.
Yeah,
other pads are available, of course.
Yeah, it's not easy to drive this car using an Xbox controller. It's quite easy to overdo the lock, and you can just flip. Oh, wow! Well, hello, flipping! I don't think the screen could render cars going horizontally that quickly. That was the number 32 car, Carl Jekyll, there, making it. Well, that's Immortal livery means that you definitely didn't miss him. Let's see what he's done. Has he done it himself? Oh, I think there was contact just in front of him between the result clothing car. There was, but he had a separate incident, and he just flicks it the other way into the barriers.
So easy done. That snap back. It's a nightmare. So,
that's what I was going to say about using the pad.
Looked like he got absolutely smashed, didn't it? But it wasn't totally on his own.
Camera angles are deceiving us. On 2 wheels there, Nathan Davis launching it through Degner 1. So we look back a little bit now at this battle between Jeroen Ursum there in the Huskenveld and My Little Pony livery, as far as I can see. With Charlie Summers and Jordan Giddings in front of him, and just ahead of them is Kip Stevens, up 18 places so far. But the biggest mover of the field is actually Brian Holmes, race 1 winner. He's up 21 places so far into 16th, and he's got that's Nick McCarron in front of him, who's up 13 places. Not to mention as well, ahead of them is Cherney, who's up 20. So we've got some real big movers. You can see on the left there. Actually,
21 for Cherney.
And Anwar Beryl Smith actually 24. I'm mistaken. Apologies. So Anwar is the biggest mover in the field at the moment. Then starting down in 35th on the grid, and he's up to 11th. And it's only lap 2. That's absolutely amazing, that effort.
Cooper and Cameron battling it out there. Right tucked up is Brian, so he'll be wanting a couple more. He got past McCarron actually. We didn't see that. Must have been into Spoon.
Good bit of slipstream going on here. These guys are keeping it all under control for now. Then obviously the first lap is a bit of chaos where everyone sort of pace mismatches, as that's the number 42 car going flying wide there. That's Craig Cameron taking the scenic route through 130R. He's going to play it safe and hit the brakes early coming into the chicane. He slots in just ahead of McCarron there. As now Brian Holmes chases down Luke Cooper. He really launches it over the curb there. That's not going to do the suspension much good, is it?
Well, no, but I heard something else as well. It sounded like somebody actually just got annihilated. So absolutely smashed. I don't know who it was, but some hard hits out there. Simmons struggling.
Yeah, he's got a bit of
few
damage
people
there.
struggling as well, I think. Right.
A couple of beating up little MX5s out there. That's Ayres and
Thompson.
These guys both really gutsy racers, both in damaged cars. And there's another Simulta car mimicking his teammate there.
It's Carl again.
It's Carl again. It is Carl Jekyll.
He doesn't like that corner, does he?
I think that camera must be a jinx for him. As soon as it goes to that shot, he just doesn't want to be part of it. Either that, or he wants to just stand out and get some sponsor time for Michael Blake there. That's in the background there. That's Simon De Castro going round just as he comes out the S's. The other way around.
The wrong way round.
Hopefully we don't see.
There you go, Nathan. That's how you do it.
Yeah, there you are, mate. We'll save that little clip of footage there for you as he gets back going again. Just about missed by one of the result clothing cars, though. I don't know how you nearly hit a car that's that bright green. Back with the My Little Pony Club then of Jeroen Ursum. Down the inside then, Anwar Smith trying to get the move done. Side by side as they come out there, it's going to be surely he's got to try and get it done on the brakes into Spoon, but I don't know whether he's going to have enough of a run to keep the overlap with it being on the outside around here. Knowing Anwar with his pace, he's going to give it a go. He's got the confidence to do it. He's a quick enough driver.
Someone's joining in late to the game and wondering why, as they've just seen the pro drivers are those that are in blue, and they're steaming up and overtaking all of these AM drivers, and why the AM drivers even out qualifying them. Well, that's not the case. Of course, we have a reverse grid. There's 4 races a night in the MX5 BSR Autumn Cup. This is race number 2 with a reverse spinny wheel, and yeah, push those up towards the back. It was almost, well, it was basically a 4 reverse. 50 is the number that we were reversed. So yeah, this is why it throws everything into the mix. Unfortunately, we lost a lot of AM drivers on the opening couple of laps. There was 2, maybe 3 big wrecks, and yeah, pretty much annihilated the AM field. So it's unfortunate. So, but what it has meant is there's a good opportunity for some of these guys to pick up points on their rivals in the AM Championship.
It certainly is, and not seen much of Euro Nelson before on iRacing, but he's putting up a good fight so far. I mean, he was doing all right last time round at Bathurst, but someone that is doing all right is Anwar Smith. He's at 28 places now. Charlie Summers, who's just ahead of him down the road going into turn 1, is at 25 places as well. Same with Brian Holmes. So some real big moves in this one, and Anwar is, well, he was on the pace in race 1, gradually got up to 3rd position in the end, and he's putting in another great performance, and it's going to be putting a smile on Adam McNally, who's the manager of Youth Energy, of course.
Yeah, he'll love this, and keep getting those good results.
He did all right at Bathurst as well, actually, in the Pro Series, didn't he, last week? I believe he finished, I think it was, well, 2nd actually to Nickel Foggy in one of the races. He was sporting the Youth Energy livery and representing the Northern Lights boys. There's, oh, one of the Automatic cars a little bit wide there. That was, which one was that? That was Ben Mears. He's, I think, the only guy on track at the moment who is in the same position where he started, in 19th position, as Van Gool and Ayres swap places then. Oh, Craig Cameron got 2 wheels on the grass coming into the first Degner there, and he just about keeps it. Oh, Jamie Ayres there going full Tokyo Drift on it, and he's somehow still on the track as well, but I think that damage is affecting that car's performance, don't you reckon?
I think so, just a little bit. Oh, Jack McIntyre. He's dropping down the order. Oh no, he's back.
It's his internet.
Yeah.
His famous internet.
So it's obviously, I'm guessing if he's from a hotel as well, he's probably tethered, so it's probably on 4G tonight. So that'll, yeah, that'll make it interesting for Craig Jones. Doesn't know where to go. Where is he? There he is. Yeah, he's going again.
Just giving him hints of where he is and just saying, go on, try it. I think if he knew it was doing that, he'd probably troll someone by just sort of quickly moving over out of the way and then sort of reappearing again and then go back. But obviously there's no way of us knowing how that's going down for McIntyre, but he's got to stick with it. At the end of the day, you can't, unless it's really terrible and you're in a massive fight, I don't really think there's much reason to completely stop. He knows that he's got the pace on Craig Jones, so he's going to want to go chasing after these 2 boys at the front of Adam Delmont then. Another Youth Energy car near the front of the field. And he's got Nathan Davis chasing
that slipstream, isn't he? Like moving back and forth. Just wanted to touch very quickly because we didn't talk about championship standings really. Obviously, we mentioned Youth Energy. Obviously, they're 3rd in the teams championship. It's a lot closer this season so far. Swift Cooper are only 45 points away from Momo, so good to see 3 sort of championship sort of teams going for it this time. So in the AM series, Scott Malcolm from Benjamin Mears and Rob Gray, and so Automatic Knock Hill absolutely smashing the AM series in the driver's side of it. There's Jack McIntyre, Stellan Chepolewski, Anwar Smith, Jack Cooper, and Kip Stevens as well. So top 5 in the pros. So keep an eye on that. It's all very close. It's still early days in the season, so don't want to get too excited about points situations yet.
Yeah, it's a very long season. They split it up into 4 small championships. They have the spring, summer, autumn and winter series. I'm not sure whether some of the Pro Series guys get involved in the winter series when their championship ends, but it'd be interesting if they did. But obviously they wouldn't want to come in and spoil some of these guys' parties because they put an entire year into making sure that this season goes their way. And it's a lot of work and commitment, to be fair. I mean, obviously Jack McIntyre showing us tonight what the level of commitment is by, even though he's not at home, he's still giving it everything he can by any means necessary. As we see Summers now attacking Craig Jones for the final podium spot. Charlie Summers up 26 places so far. Anwar Smith is up 30 behind him, and he's closing as well. He's just dispatched Max Wright. And Summers there makes the move on Jones up to third, but Craig staying up near the top quite well at the moment. He actually started 7th on the grid, so he's ahead of where he began. So it's nice result for Craig tonight.
McIntyre still struggling with his connection. That little gaggle is behind. That one. That's pretty tasty.
That's Kip Stevens then, Jordan Giddings, Luke Cooper, and just in front of them is Brian Holmes, who's gained 29 places in this race so far. Side by side then, that's Kip Stevens in the pink highlighted car as another Northern Lights car takes the scenic route through 130 out. Most of them are Scottish, so they're used to going out on the grass anyway. We've got, Luke Cooper's got it done. He's in front of Giddings now. And your own Erston is closing up on the back of them, but you've got to think now that it's going to be Holmes that just sort of runs away from them guys and tries to chase down Max Wright now.
Yeah, he's got what, 3.2 seconds, so I'm not sure he's going to do that. We're at 12 minutes 20 already.
Yep.
So lap 6 of 7, so yeah, not going to happen.
Still sort of nice bunched up groups though, really. It's not spread out as much as I was expecting.
I really was expecting it to really sort of form apart, to be fair, and have lots of sort of little individual battles. Just to see what the fastest laps are in the relative classes. Wow, that's quite a separation there in this race as well. So 222.174 against a 224. So 222.174, who does that go to? Yeah, Alex Cherney. And the fastest am 24.
It's Craig, Craig Jones, I think 224.05 it says. So rounded up, isn't it? Brilliant stuff then by Craig Jones. Good performance tonight. He is the highest AM driver on the track at the moment, and I'm sure he'll be happy with that. We've seen him get caught up in quite a lot of incidents before and have really bad luck with people further down the order, and especially in these reverse races, he's been caught up in some of the guys that are making their way through. And he's
who's that?
Oh, is that Giddings, number 23. Don't reverse into the track, son.
It is Giddings.
And that's why we have the same numbers every race meeting. We used to have issues where everyone would have different numbers for every single race, and obviously as a commentator and a spectator it makes it a bit more difficult, but it becomes an identity of a driver, as we've just seen Max Wright there getting past Craig Jones. Craig now back where he started, and he inherits the title of being the only driver where he started in the races. Ben Mears has gained 3 places as opposed to his earlier 19th where he was located. But Max Wright then is still having to go defensive into 130R. Craig giving him a run for his money. Just in front then, Anwar Smith is ahead of Alex Cherney. Those guys up 31 and 29 places respectively, and Charlie Summers just ahead is up 27. So just great progress by all these guys tonight. And I suppose while Suzuka is a challenging circuit to hot lap, it is actually a really sort of good overtaking circuit. I mean, it can be difficult, but I think in a car like this where you've got a bit more time to react and sort of plan your lines through the slower corners, obviously where they're sort of one-line corners, as you would say, it can be easier to do, as we see Davis now. Oh, and that's Delmont. He's just gone straight on at the chicane. Davis gets lucky there, really, that he doesn't rejoin in front of him, and he's inherited the race lead.
Yes, indeed. So that was just a moment ago. So Davis saying, thank you very much. I'm going to gift it to me on the final lap, or just before the final lap. I'll take it.
Real shame that Youth Energy most probably aren't going to get 2 out of 2 wins for the evening, but I tell you what, Swift Cooper and Youth Energy are becoming the class of the field tonight. You can't really see much from the Momo guys in this one. We've got Steve Hefford and Jack McIntyre that are further down the order. McCarran, Van Gool and Ayres are actually all together in 13th, 14th and 15th. So Swift Cooper and Youth Energy are going to be taking a good chunk of the points towards the team championship out of this race. Really, really good spread of drivers, but the top 6 is all those sorts of cars. Alex Cherney is in the same livery, I suppose, isn't he? So he is part of that team.
Yeah, I think we just need to get some of the data sheets updated. I know Nick sorted them out last time we mentioned it, so to import, but yeah, try and get that sorted for next week. Make sure this shows the right team.
Just having a quick look at a bit of a strange statistic at the moment. We're just doing a bit of maths on it, and the top 7 drivers, just having a quick look, the average gain position for these top 7 drivers is 17 places.
Nice.
Just as the strangest sort of statistic level all night then. As Charlie Summers and Anwar Smith then battle it out towards the end of the race. They've got Alex Cherney helping out Charlie there in the bright green wheeled. I lost the name then, Swift Cooper, isn't it? As we see his teammate there, Nathan Davis, coming out the final corner then with Adam Delmont in hot pursuit. And he takes the second race of the evening. Brilliant drive by Davis there, gained 13 places to win that one. Delmont will be happy with second place for Youth Energy. And it's Charlie Summers bringing it across the line in third with Anwar Smith in fourth and Alex Cherney fifth. Brian Holmes makes it 3 Youth Energy cars and 3 Swift Cooper cars. And speaking of threes, there's 3 Momo cars and Josh Thompson in the middle of it. That's going to be Van Gool coming across the line with Thompson in 13th, McCarran 14th and Jamie S 15th. Not an ideal result for those guys, but they still made up quite a lot of places between them. Stelian Chepelevsky was actually behind that as well, so there's 4 Momo cars out of 5.
Keon Malcolm then on the final corner, around the outside. It's good. Almost looked like Malcolm let him have it, to be honest. Just very slow through there. I don't know if he just braked a bit too early, but it looked like he was kind of giving it to him.
Yeah, he
was
just
in the final lap.
He just committed, didn't he? Really, and I'm not sure whether Scott just wasn't sure what to do with it. I mean, it probably caught him off guard a little bit for him to try and go around the outside. It's not an ideal manoeuvre to go for, but yeah, fair play, Mikey Key, making it work across the line, gaining that 23rd spot then. But another action-packed race there. A lot more incidents, obviously, but that's what we tend to have. Euron Ursum in the chat at the moment, very happy with P11. It's a great result for him. As I was saying, not seen much of him in the iRace community, so he's come into this series, and as far as I know, he's doing a really good job so far. So fair play, Euron. Just waiting now for the final few stragglers to come across the line. There's one of the Automat cars there. You can see the beautiful skills of iRacing and the shadow actually on top of the track going over the bridge that he's under. But you get these little bugs and things, don't you? They can't be perfect, let's face it. They do a fine job. They do a fine job of everything else. The details on these tracks and everything is amazing. I mean, I know for a fact that at Alton Park, for example, if you go to the little cafe that's in the middle, even on the inside, they've got the correct poster from the day they scanned it of the upcoming events at Alton Park for that race weekend. So it's just the little things like that you're probably never going to see unless you go looking for it. And as you can tell, I have. But yeah, iRacing do a mega job of these circuits, so can't take that away from them.
Right, we have some race results.
So then Nathan Davies takes the win. Only 0.4 of a second roughly from Adam Delmont though, with Charlie Summers in third, Anwar Smith in fourth, Alex Cherney in fifth and Brian Holmes in sixth place. Max Wright finishes 7th, with Craig Jones the highest damn driver in 8th. Great drive by Craig in that race. Luke Cooper is 9th, with Kip Stevens in 10th. Euro Mersum, as we just saw in the chat, celebrating 11th place, with Peter Van Gool in 12th, Josh Thompson 13th, Nick McCarran 14th, Jamie Ayres 15th, and his teammate Stelian Chepelevsky in 16th. Benjamin Mears finishes 17th, with Craig Cameron in 18th place. Then it's Jordan Giddings in 19th after that little spin at the hairpin, and Adam McNally rounding out your top 20. Then you've got 3 result clothing cars of Dave Ayres, Carl Hardy and Mikey Key. Scott Malcolm 24th, with Joe McDonald 25th. Carl Jacquelet, points for style going through the first 2 corners there, making it a very entertaining way of getting around the first part of the track. He finishes 26th, with Mikael Garcia 27th, Tyler Lugo Vickery is 28th, Jack McIntyre 29th, obviously that race not going too brilliantly for him, with George Simmons in 30th, Simon Nicastro 31st, Peter Knowles 32nd, Craig Evans 33rd, Rob Graham 34th, Steve Heffer taken out by the accident in the beginning in 35th, Mick Barry 36th, Nick Madsen 37th, Jack Ashton 38th, and Dave Christie was classified as 39th. And we get to Alex's favourite part of the evening once again, to get the reverse grid wheel.
Yeah, I'm just very, very quickly trying to sort out some overlay issues. Right, here we go.
It wouldn't be an average broadcast without overlay issues, would it?
No, it's just a data file. You know, you got to keep doing that. So a couple of people not in the in the entry list that we just need to add in manually and make sure everything's working okay. Right. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and spin it.
There's only one car that was a lap down, and that was Jack McIntyre, so if we get a -1, he's going to be a happy boy.
Yeah, it's certainly not going to be a -1. 15th, very small one.
Wow, okay, I wasn't expecting that. I'm going to have to scroll up on the results here. It's Jamie Ayres on pole position from Nick McCarron, Josh Thompson, and Peter Van Gool. Stelian Chepelewski missing out by 1 position there, but that's 3 Momo cars in the top 4. Jerome Mersum is going to be 5th on the grid, so he gets promoted from his finishing position in that race. Kip Stevens is going to be in 6th place on the grid as well, so should be an exciting race with those 4 guys at the front especially. And we will join you in about 10-15 minutes time on Apex Racing TV for race 3 of the evening. Don't go away. Welcome back to the BSR MX5 Autumn Series and Suzuka and Apex Racing TV. We're just having a few technical issues at the moment. Apologies. We've had an issue with the stream itself, so I'm not sure exactly how much we'll be getting right now. So welcome to Apex Radio. I'll give it a best shot of what we've got. I can obviously see the session on screen still. We've got the grid as it is. It's the Momo guys on the front row. Jamie Ayres and Nick McCarron, cars 4 and 5. Josh Thompson, Pete Van Gool on the second row of the grid with Jerome Ursum is 5th with Kip Stevens 6th on the grid. Luke Cooper is 7th with Craig Jones, the highest AM driver, still in 8th. Max Wright and Brian Holmes wrap out the top 10, and even outside of that as well, you've got a lot of really quick guys there then. As the revs rise and they get away, off they go. And it seems... I'm just trying to try something on here. Apologies. I'm having a bit of an issue with my my cameras themselves actually right now. Okay, so Jamie Ayres then leads him out of turns 1 and 2. He has got Nick McCarron still behind. Oh, one of the Youth Energy cars gets turned in the background there, and one of the Northern Lights cars is going down the order as well. It's Adam Delmont that got turned around. Really unfortunate for him there as well. And I think Mick Barry's got caught up in it. There's an accident there on track as well. Just trying to keep up with what's gone on there. Someone's had a bit of a hefty hit by the sounds of it. Someone's gone flying off. Max Wright going off the track there. But Jamie Ayres then leading the way from Nick McCarron, Josh Thompson, Pete Van Gool, Luke Cooper up 2 places. Kip Stevens is 6th. Brian Holmes is up into 7th. He's gained 3 positions on track then. Got some really close battles going on all the way down. Oh, Adam McNally flying over the curbs as Craig Jones is flying down the order in the Result Clothing car. The highest placed AM, and he's gone off as one of the Sim Mortal cars comes into shot completely backwards through Degner's there. And that's Tyler Lugo Vickery, I believe it might have been, that's had that. Oh, there's a crash coming out of the Degner's as well. Steve Hefford involved again. He's had no luck this evening at all. Steve having real issues with just getting caught up in incidents at the moment. Craig Jones actually got caught up in the accident coming out of the Degner's. So he spun it himself going in, it seems. And then he's had the crash coming out as other people have sort of had an accident around him, as Josh Thompson at Spoon Curve puts it down the inside of Nick McCarron then. Nice smooth manoeuvre. And coming down the straight towards 130R, he's got the slipstream, and his teammate Peter Van Gool is directly behind him. Got a lot of people moving around in the midfield. George Simmons and Scott Malcolm continuously swapping places, but Nick McCarron goes to the outside of Josh Thompson then for 2nd place at 130R. Doesn't quite get the overlap. So he's got to just settle in behind now for 3rd. He tries to get the move done going into the final chicane. They both hit the brakes at roughly the same moment. Josh just defends it really well. Oh, Luke Cooper gets 2 wheels on the grass just behind him there. Just keeps hold of the car going into the chicane. As Jordan Giddings is around, I believe. He's off after 130. Oh, someone else just going flying there. I think that was Dave Ayres.
It was indeed David Ayres. I am back. Sorry about that. Yeah, a little... I don't know what we're getting with these errors that are popping up, but definitely causing a bit of a headache.
It was Christie, by the way, that went off at 130R. Just got it completely wrong on the exit. I think he just slid it and then spun it the other way. But Ayres was off at the chicane on his own. Jamie Ayres, the other Ayres, is actually going down the order then, but I think it was something wrong with his connection. Seemed to just pop in and out quickly there. He just went flying down the timing screen and then straight back up to the top. But we see Josh Thompson then chasing him down now. So just joined back in with Alex's cameras now as well, so we're all nice and back in sync. As we see, that's Craig Cameron, who's currently in 14th position.
Some big old gaps there, isn't it? Which I guess I must have missed, what happened. There must have been, all hell broke must loose somewhere.
Yeah,
so for it to separate like that. A lot of cars in the pits as well. I'm seeing what? At least certainly 4 or 5 that have retired.
Yeah, I believe there was a bit of contact going into the into Degner 1. Someone around, and then people just trying to avoid causing more accidents. And then on the exit of the Degners as well, it bunched up. There's people getting turned into the wall. Steve Hefford had a really heavily damaged car as well, unfortunately. But we look right now then at Mikael Garcia, 18th place. Behind him, he's got Jack Ashton and Nick Madsen side by side then as they come up towards Spoon Curve. I think actually, yeah, Ashton's got the move done. And he's up into the position. He's gained 19 places so far. Biggest mover in the field. Up 19, up to 19. And he's got Garcia next ahead. He's got a really, really good run out of that final corner. Line down the straight then. He's just got it done on the inside already. Doesn't even have to do it on the brakes before 130R. Gets it turned in nice and smooth. Taking a lot of curb there actually is Garcia. He's got McDonald behind him as well. And Nick Madsen. Oh, they bunch up a little bit into the chicane.
He thought he was going to hit him there, didn't he? Just had to get out of it. It cost him quite a bit of time as well. All of a sudden he's under pressure again.
Got Cherney doing the fastest lap of the race there, 2:20.5. As these guys nearly going 3 wide there, that's McDonald, and it's quite easy to know who that is by that livery. It makes itself very apparent. There's some of the Swift Cooper cars there, all 4 of them actually, are getting involved in this battle near the front. That's Luke Cooper, Alex Cherney, Kip Stevens and Charlie Summers, all identifiable by the different coloured roll cages, as that is Van Gool in 3rd place, chasing down, or trying to chase down, Josh Thompson and race leader Jamie Ayres. That's a great little train behind them there, isn't it?
Timing screen catches itself up as well. It took a couple of laps with joining in halfway through the session, but we're there eventually. But yeah, what a great little battle, and they're exchanging positions. That's Summers and Stevens or Kip.
We were talking about most of them getting 2 wheels. Kip getting a little bit out of shape there. We're talking about Dave Baker and Christian Rose last night in the World GT Series being in flying formation, but these lot are showing them really how it's done with 4 of them. As now, that is Brian Holmes going up to 4th place ahead of Nick McCarron. He's got his teammate Anwar Smith in there as well. These guys have been near the front all night. Fantastic results by these guys so far. Obviously Holmes winning race 1. I believe he finished 6th in race 2 with Anwar finishing 3rd and 4th respectively in races 1 and 2, and hoping to continue those results tonight. Done some. They didn't have to gain many places actually, because we only had a small reverse grid this time, so might make it easy for him as McCarron goes wide there, loses a place to Luke Cooper at least, and he's got
a couple of little mistakes this lap for Nick. Obviously we joined and we saw him wide at Degner 2, and that's really where he lost all the momentum and lost that place to Holmes, and then another one there. So under the cosh at the moment, and actually talking of under the cosh, it's Jamie Ayres, because Josh Thompson up the inside through 130R.
Yeah, nicely done there. Josh really proved himself last night in the World GT Championship as well. Not that he needed to, we all know he's quick, but he put on an absolute stellar performance. Oh, that's, well, it's an Apex car going the wrong way. We don't want to see that. Nathan Davis then. And not sure whether he was involved with Nick. Oh, that's Summers as well.
Yeah.
Off there. And that's Adam McNally catching up to the pair of them. He's clearly going to get past the both of them there.
Yeah, he certainly will. Nathan wouldn't have had a slowdown, but Summers will have. Oh, there's something ahead.
Oh, it's Thompson.
And Ayres
is gone. Not sure what's happened there.
I think that might be worth looking at actually. I don't see go back too many on these. But side by side going into one. It's just going to be a case of 2 into 1 doesn't go. Absolutely.
Oh, big bit of contact there. There's backwards into the wall quite hard as well. It's not going to do the car any good. I'm not sure how that will affect it when he goes through corners like 130R, and especially the Degners here. We'll see how it handles as he comes in. As Josh has actually got a hefty bit of damage to that front left as well, but that's closed it up now. Brian Holmes is right behind him, and then he's got Beryl Smith with him as well. Van Gool leading the way. So this could get even juicier as a battle.
Yeah, I wondered if the contact, I mean, you can see the damage on the front left for Thompson, but I wondered if it had actually caused some sort of suspension damage and would have been tracking just off centre, but as it is, it's not, so you can carry on fighting out there, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be affecting it that badly. He's going to obviously go for it. Josh never gives up. He's got such a well, I can't even think of the phrase, but you know what I mean. He's just never say die attitude really in these series, and with them being leagues as well, like we were saying the other night, with obviously these drivers sort of race against each other week after week. It's not like the official series where you can always come up against different people. and you learn how everyone behaves on track. And as you can see down the inside there, actually, Brian Holmes just creeping through, but he's actually later on the brakes than Thompson. Does a great job through 130R, and he might even get the move done on Van Gool here into the chicane.
Yeah, I think he is. Great, yeah, great momentum through there. That's how you get it done. So you carry on, carry the line through the outside. 2x2.
Yeah,
Right,
cheeky Cooper down the inside there. Earl Smith on the gravel, on the grass. And Cherney's going to try and get in on this as well. Holmes was actually the big loser in that one there, because he tried to put the move on Thompson, but he had to brake to get out of it. We're going on to the 6th lap of the race now then. Or actually, no, this is the 5th lap. The timing line was a bit further back, wasn't it? So, yeah, apologies there. That's a rookie error by me, that. As Anwar now up to 2nd place. So, do you reckon he can get a win out of this one if he sticks with Alex?
I think he's got every chance to. Certainly got the speed out there as well. So, showing that tonight. There's a lot of drivers there in that little group though that could all win this one. So, who knows?
Always going to be frantic and action-packed at the front, but Anwar really putting the pressure on Josh. You've got to think about the sort of pressure he's going to put him under. Just consistently on the back of him, isn't he? He just seems to have the legs on him a little bit. But behind as well, it's not plain sailing for Peter Van Gool. He's got Brian Holmes on him, and he's got to be watching his mirrors because he's got the 3 Swift Cooper cars behind him, and they'll all be posing a big threat, of course.
Yeah, I just find myself watching this just to see how it's all going to pan out, because I really don't know. It's all just Constantine up there in that hairpin as well. Got a couple of more Momo cars behind that if they battle just a little bit more, they could be involved in it as well. Thompson deciding he has to go defensive into Spoon this time.
Yeah, he's got to have his wits about him, hasn't he? And Anwar's a really sort of gutsy racer as well. These guys are actually quite well matched on track, and yeah, he's just got it done there, nicely done. And Van Gool, though, is going to try and capitalise on this as well now. Really good train as always, though. I mean, we always see it week after week with these guys that they sort of match each other really well. And when you do get a bit of slipstreaming like we were looking for tonight, it is a big sort of leveller in the playing field. There's actually a nice gap of the admin drive AM drives further back.
Look at the event viewer, that is lighting up right there. There's a big crash.
Yeah,
further back.
Something's gone very wrong.
Again, you want to see who's involved in that, then head to the live timing, scroll up. I posted the live timing link. You can see exactly what's going on. We like to stick with the action here. Focus on those.
Down the straight then. On to the 6th lap of the race. One more to go after this. Anwar seems to have pulled out a nice gap now with the other guys battling behind him. That's exactly what he wants. He wants Thompson to be putting Van Gool under pressure, and he wants Brian Holmes and his teammate to be putting Josh under pressure. Just wants them to get all backed up into one another now. But some of these guys can quite easily break away, I reckon, if you just sort of hand the battle off to the guy behind you. If you're quick enough and just sort of, you've got to ignore what's going on behind you, really, haven't you, sometimes?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, Van Gool kind of hopes that Thompson doesn't make a move for the moment, just leaves him for just half the lap at least to be able to use the slipstream and catch back up. And of course, Josh sticks his nose in there. It's going to that gap's going to be over a second, and it's not done that actually. So you can see already it's coming down with the slipstream. A few off tracks as they go through the diggers.
Yeah, so it just sort of light up. There was like a sort of Mexican wave of just red squares going down the timing screen as they all did it one by one. The Swift Cooper cars backing each other up now, and that's Jamie Ayres clinging onto the back of this battle as well. And not far behind that is Nick McCarran, and then Nathan Davis is still in 5th as well, not far back from that. So it's really, really good stuff actually. But they sort of catching up quite nicely now. I mean, these battles are obviously naturally going to slow it down, but Van Gool is catching up with Smith, it seems here. The gap isn't getting any bigger, is it?
No, not at all.
In the
coming
background.
down 0.4 of a second it is now, so...
That was Ayres in the background there on Stevens. Still side by side then as they come down the straight towards 130R.
Both just about got a bit of slipstream each, so out and out drag race. And that's what you obviously don't get in iRacing that you might get in the real world. You know, a slightly better block or something like that in there. So there should be the same, but occasionally you get one that just pulls an extra couple of horsepower, you know, over your rival. So
Yeah, it's just as well. Also with this car, it's momentum is one of the most important things, and it's quite difficult to keep it with how softly settled they are. They get a lot of body roll, and you can unsettle them. As Brian Holmes is unsettling Van Gool right now, as Thompson sticking the nose down the inside. Looks very threatening, but it's now a 1-2 for Youth Energy. And both of these guys have been on the podium already tonight. Brian Holmes taking a win, so hopefully for them, this last lap will be nice and straightforward with Thompson putting Van Gool under pressure. He's going to want to get that podium for Momo because they didn't do too well in the second race of the night, while the Youth Energy guys and Swift Cooper were gaining all the points, taking the whole top 6 with them. You can just see the flow and the weight transfer of the car around here. I mean, you can see the little inputs by Josh as well. As we were saying before, it does move around a lot. You don't tend to notice it when it's like an external camera because it's quite a slow moving car compared to other things that we see. Thompson really taking all the curve through the deck now. It's a very satisfying corner, that second part though, the way it dips down. The car feels like it's got a lot more grip than anywhere else on the track because the sort of the camber really helps it out as they go up to the hairpin then on the brakes.
you can see Josh is struggling with his damage actually. He just hasn't quite got the same straight line speed. This is why I think these guys have both been able to get up and get by.
Yeah,
it's difficult for him to make a move here. Yeah, you can see, just about see you drop him back ever so slightly, even though he had the slipstream as well. Gutted for that. It's very close at the front between the two teammates. Will they change positions? I don't think they will.
Don't think so. Just seems that I think with Holmes already having a win in the first race, I think he'll, if given the choice, he'll obviously let Anwar have it because Anwar's up there in the championship as he usually is. He's a very quick guy when it comes to this. 130R then for the final time. Coming up to the chicane though, it's not spread out at all. These guys are still a threat in the background. Van Gool looking menacing, but Thompson's going to try it around the outside, and then that's going to become the inside. Oh, that seemed like quite a bit of netcode actually. I'm going to call that straight off. I don't think they were that close together. Josh Thompson slowing down though to let him back through. That's really good sportsmanship. And across the line then to take the win, Anwar Smith from Brian Holmes, a 1-2 for Youth Energy. It's a 3-4 for Swift Cooper with Cherney, and then Luke Cooper, and then Jamie Ayres finishing 5th. Kip Stevens finishing where he started in 6th place, and yeah, Josh slowing down across the line there. Fair play to him though, really good sportsmanship to allow that to happen, but I don't quite think that he...
I don't think he did anything wrong there, to be honest. I think, you know, he was entitled to be left some room there as well. Yes, there was perhaps a bit of netcode in there as well, but I'm always a firm believer that you've got to drive and expect there can be some netcode, and if you're on the outside, you're the one that's always vulnerable to it, as this battle between Jones and Knowles goes on, and Knowles makes the mistake, and Hardy's going to try and come through as well. He's now going to have the outside. There weren't any netcode in that one. No. That was for sure. Just a minute. Oh, I got disqualified.
Oh, have that for good measure, son.
Oh dear. Wow.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know whether he meant to do that, but that was like something out of Robot Wars. That was brilliant. Always entertaining. Yeah. Always entertaining. But yeah, that was another frantic race with fantastic battling at the front. It's something that we've seen consistently all season. It's just a train of 6 or even up to like 10 cars at the front of the field, just making for such entertaining driving and overtakes alike. It's just it's another prime example series for, a prime example event for sort of promoting this series and showing how good the racing is, isn't it?
So you're waiting for someone out there. Finish. Giddings, possibly? Yeah, I think Giddings as well. Yeah. So, got a lot of damage on there. Just until we get the official results. But yeah, apologies about the start there as well. Just missing that. Causing us a few issues in recent weeks, so time to swap out the capture card, I think.
Yeah, maybe we can get through the last one without any issues, hopefully. It does just happen quite randomly, it seems. It's not anything we really have a massive amount of control over. These things just happen. It's part of being in the media, I suppose, isn't it? The lovely world of the media.
Right, that is the last person across the line, so let's retrieve the results and I'll get them up on screen.
That characteristic Ferris wheel as well there. And it's a massive, massive bit of kit, and you often see it in some beautiful shots of Suzuka. Anwar Smith then takes the win in race 3 of the evening. Brian Holmes finishing second with Alex Cherney in third. Luke Cooper is fourth, Jamie Ayres is fifth. Kip Stevens is 6th with Nick McCarron 7th, Peter Van Gool 8th, Josh Thompson 9th, and Adam McNally rounding out the top 10. Adam McNally have another good drive there, actually gaining 10 places in that one. Nathan Davis finishes 11th with Charlie Summers 12th, George Summers 13th, Craig Evans 14th, Jack Ashton is 15th with Nick Madsen 16th, Craig Cameron 17th, and Mikael Garcia finishing in 18th position. Scott Malcolm is 19th with David Ayres in 20th, Jeroen Ursum 21st with Max Wright in 22nd, Benjamin Mears is 23rd, Craig Jones 24th, Carl Hardy is 25th, Mick Barry is in 26th position with Rob Graham in 27th. Stelian Chapelewski getting caught up in some issues earlier on, 28th overall with Jack McIntyre, his teammate, 29th. And Jordan Giddings is 30th, we just saw towards the end of the race there. Peter Knowles 31st with Joe McDonald 32nd, Simon Nicastro 33rd with Adam Delmont 34th, Tyler Lugo Vickery, I finally got his name right, 35th. Dave Christie 36th, we saw him go off at 130R earlier. Steve Hefter 37th, Mikey Key 38th, and bringing up the rear of the field is Carl Jacquelet in 39th.
Right, wheel time. Get that spun, throw it off. Let's see where we end up. It's not 20th. Someone asking on the chat, better not go wrong, spin a 20. Well, you know, we were other side of the board, really. Ended up on 15th, even smaller, another short one.
So another 15 then. That's Jack Ashton on pole position. Jack's been really quick, so be interesting to see whether he can convert that into a result. Craig Evans starting on the front row. I know that I always say it, but he's got to pull something out of the bag for me whenever I'm commentating for him. George Simmons is third down with Charlie Summers fourth, and that'll put Nathan Davis fifth on the grid. And then we've, of course, got that big train of cars, the top 9 from that other race, starting directly behind him. So it's bound to be another brilliant fight for the win, maybe even the entire top 10. And me and Alex will join you again in about 10-15 minutes time for the final race of the evening. Don't go away.